What we've been doing is kind of trying to start to finish a project. A lot of these jobs on the car are actually super time consuming, and honestly some of these videos go over weeks of me like starting something, waiting on someone, ordering something, so they're like pretty time consuming. And there's a lot of little things when you're building a car that can also go from, you know, you're like, oh, we're pretty close, but then there's really like 10 things that take 2 hours to do, so you got another 20 hours work. So we're kind of trying to capture some of that stuff so you can kind of get a good idea of some of the things that do go into these cars and what it takes to get it done. I probably get carried away more than some people, but it is what it is. So one of these jobs that we're going to have in this particular video is I'm doing some heat management. We did have all this set up in the car originally. It's pretty important for a turbo LS, to be honest. Heat management. Heat is like definitely not a nice thing, and turbo LS is probably like one of the worst engines for heat management because you got hot, well, any V8 to be honest, it's turbo. You got hot pipes going everywhere. So one thing we try to do, so we pulled all the old stuff off. It's been on there for a few years, and then as you can see behind me here, you can buy this in a sheet. So we bought a couple of sheets of that, and we're cutting pieces out. You try to do it in the biggest pieces you can, but honestly you can kind of see, I stopped here so you can kind of see, but you know, this is a piece, so I'm going to cut another piece to go here. It's very hard to get it looking, it's very hard actually to get it looking nice. Like, it's more of like a 10-foot heat wrap job back here somewhere, but yeah, it works well. It does prevent the paint from just getting absolutely annihilated, so I think it actually looks pretty good once it's all done. So we're going to keep working away at this. Maybe do a little time lapse of me putting a few more pieces in here, maybe not, I don't know. But that heat wrap, engine bay, it's one project. I've honestly been on it for about an hour and a half. I just thought I might try and, like we did in the last video, capture some of these small things. So really, yeah, you know, it's going to be a day's work. I'm going to do probably 3 tasks, 4 tasks, maybe 2 tasks, and they're all going to take 2 to 4 hours each. So it takes a while to get all these little projects done, but it's all part of it. So let's get on and get the heat wrap and heat management done in this engine bay. Alright, so we didn't end up doing time lapse, but here's what we did. So we've covered that in the inside there. I'll let you know why I did that. And basically with an LS we're going to have a large amount of heat here and here, so we want to cover all this. That'll stop any heat transfer. This also radiates some heat. Kind of looks pretty sweet. Main reason why we did in those wheel arches there is it's kind of like there's actually a factory open hole, and it leaves just an open sticky back on the other side. And I did have it like that before, and it collects a lot of like dirt and rubber and sand. So kind of just made a piece up to go in there, so that will prevent that from happening. So job 1 done. Job 2 is going to be making a diff hat cover for the diff. As you've seen in the last video when we're doing the winter's quick change, with the new subframe setup, it pops through the hole, so I had to cut a hole. So we're going to build a pretty basic aluminum box. Tyler had already started it, so we'll kind of just go through what he's done, how he did it, why he did it, and yeah, what it looks like and what we're going to do with it once it's done. So this is our hole we got. As you've seen there, we've got to cover that thing in there. That's where the diff's sitting. Our new subframe pops it through there. So Clokey worked on this. This is what we've come up with. This is what we needed to clear. This is our hat. Probably going to powder coat this thing. I think is probably going to be the easiest way to do it, but I'll show you how it fits. She's a pretty simple solution, to be honest. So literally goes in here. Like so. Another, oh, that sucks. That bolt there is going to be, there's actually a factory bolt hole in the top, which once I get this powder coated, I'll show you how to unbolt in the top, and then some pot rivets. around the to do. So we get that powder coat and get that baby in there, and that's another little project sorted. All right, third little project, which is another little time-consuming one, but which we've removed it all. One thing I definitely usually get a lot of smoke in the cab if you don't seal it up properly now. So we've gone through, this is all full of foam, sealed up all the seams into the car. This is full of foam, that one's full of foam. Up in here is now full of foam. So we've like really tried to foam everything the best we can to stop it from getting smoke into the cab. Some aluminum tape on it. And if I was gonna be painting again, I probably could have like cut the tape out nice and just painted the tape, but we're not actually doing that here. So we've got two big cut out some cardboard templates of what we wanted to put in there, and then the cardboard templates I had some carbon fibre sheet, so it's super light, and this is what we've come up with. So this piece is the driver's side one. So basically we're just going to put a thin bead of probably just clear silicone, I think, to be honest. Thin bead of that on there, and it's going to go in here. So yeah, it's going to go in here. It's going to cover that up. I'm going to pot rivet that, do a couple of pot rivets on it, and then the silicone will hold it, so that'll just seal it. I'll show you what it looks like, but yeah, let's get that done. That's another little project. They're all finished. This is the engine bay. All complete. Looking good. She's ready for an engine. So that's that one done. The carbon covers are on. So they came out pretty sweet. And the diff hat's getting ready to get powder coated. I actually need to build the booth first, so that'll be in one of the further episodes, but she's all built, ready for the powder coater. That's on me to get that done, so we'll get some of these other major tasks done, and once we're ready to build that powder coating room, we'll build that and get it done. But that's those three knocked off the list, baby.